Alright. Welcome back to Metal Heroes Review, episode 87. Yeah, I know it's been a while. It's been about 4 months since basically I did the last Metal Heroes Review. As a matter of fact, the plan right now is to do this one, another Metal Heroes series right after this one, and then unpack the Kamen Rider Agato. That's the plan. So the first of two Metal Heroes series I'm going to do is going to be, well, believe it or not, this is the final, yes, the final Showa era Metal Hero series release. Though, from what I've heard, this one was considered Metal Heroes by default, despite the fact that the show doesn't feel like Metal Heroes. Because, of course, the characters don't come from space, like it was with the previous six. Well, the first 5 came from space. 6-1 definitely did feel it because it featured robots. This one in particular, well, it did have the sword action, like a lot of the other ones did, with the exception of Metallica, which had basically his arm. But it has a similar feeling to Metal Heroes, but doesn't feel like natural Metal Heroes. Now, this one is ninja themed, all about world ninjas, and the opposing group is known as, well, according to everyone online, referred to as the Sorcerer's Clan. In this sub, I've seen referred to as the Demon Clan. Now, first up, we have our main character here, whose name is... Yes, our main character for the show, his name is Toa Yamajiya. That is his name. We started out with the first episode, him... Well, first actually, the explanation for the series comes a bit later. So, we see him training with his father, which they do note in the first scene here, that he is not his biological son. No, he is in fact adopted. He's living here with his younger brother and sister, also adopted as well. They train for. Apparently, his father is very tough on him, and then all of a sudden, basically, then we see our debuting villains here, where you have the guy called Damasku. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yes. Here referred to as Org Ninja Doskai, who apparently was an enemy, though they explain later on he actually is a former fellow student of this particular way of ninja, and then he left because he wanted a particular item per se. We're also introduced to some other ninjas per se. Also in the first episode, we are introduced to Butterfly Ninja Benkaba. She actually meets our lead character in the very next episode. That is her right there. Okay, so if you're wondering what what Daisuke Who looks like, that is him. Yep. We're also introduced to a few other ninjas in the series. Yes. Its official name is, this one is referred to as World Ninja War Jiraiya. It's also referred as Senkai Ninja Sen. But I've heard I basically, the name translates to World Ninja War. Yep. So, we do have a few of the characters here per se. We have like various other ninjas basically seen here. These are referred to as world ninjas. One of whom is a character by the name of Castle Ninja Baron Owl. And when he first shows up, he looks like this. You think by his look, like, he must be a crusader in modern day. That's kind of his motif. He later explains in the, I think it was the second episode of the series, that that he actually is, I think they mentioned he is a descendant of Christians who settled in Japan, and in fact they're persecuted, and he wants to basically open Japan for Christians. Despite the fact I'm sure probably they live in Japan, no problem, but he's not the only world ninja we're introduced to. We use the image of this guy here, Fire Ninja Chang Kung Fu. Yeah, we see him teased in the first episode. But he does not appear for quite a while in the series. I'll make Stevie really soon. They did mention a few others, but they do have one other character appear in the first episode from Jiraiya and his younger siblings. Here's his adoptive father, Tensu Jamajin, who is the head of the school, who later passes to his adopted son. Menbu is his younger adopted brother, who happens to be the son of this dojo head here. There's also Kai Yamaji. Yep. And she is a very, basically she loves bossing around her older adopted brother. Yep. That's kind of what she does here. And, of course, Daichi shows up at the dojo, wants tablets, and, of course, basically, Tozen takes his younger children, put them in the closet, while, of course, him and his older adoptive son proceed to fight. But basically, him and Tozen, he actually do fight. And I do appreciate, though, that Toa is not interfering in this fight. No, he's not. I'm sure he realizes his adoptive father can handle. He knows he can handle really well in this fight. He's not interfering. Smart on the writers, basically, for doing it. Not have him jump in because he's young. But then during the course of this fight, his other gets injured, his ankle gets hurt, and then of course they have to, then they end up kidnapping Kai while this is happening. So then of course basically, actually after this, so basically then he goes to actually no, that happens later on. So then, of course, after they leave, before the kidnapping happens, he does explain kind of what's going on here. So, basically, they're after a tablet that is basically it's a small tablet, which, from the shape, it looks like it's basically the size of my hand. And apparently, according to this tablet, it has directions to a particular time capsule that the leader of the Sorcerer's Clan wants. It's called Pinko, this weird time capsule device that came from space. That this thing will, and of course we see the thing glowing, and of course also, that's when as everybody shows up here. So then of course, in order to save his kidnappers later on in the episode, then of course he's given his armor. Yep, he's given his armor, which is kept in the attic. Yep. And the way it's kept, it's it comes down, and then we have kind of the legs back of it, and we have the top, and then when we see later on put it together after he rescued his sister, This is what the outfit looks like. And yes, it exposes his eyes and shows those fingers. Which, you're probably thinking, from not here series, that's bizarre. Why would he expose his fingers like that? Well, because the ninja. Yes. Excuse me, by the combination of when he has a visor, that actually comes, or the eyes are covered, that comes a little bit later after this. So then he battles members of the Sorcerer's Clan. He battles this guy right here, Star Ninja Rex. Yeah, he battles him and sort of defeats him, but doesn't kill him. He uses sort of vacuum sword that proceeds to hit him, but doesn't kill him. He gets away. And also, like, then the very next episode, they do explain, like, they also mentioned Chinese ninja Lu Long. He mentioned episode 2. I think that's it for ninjas they mentioned the first couple episodes. There is Bird Ninja Katsuru, who basically is battled next episode. So the next episode, he settles up with Baron Owl. Then we're introduced to 2 ninjas. Well, we'll get back to that. So he tries to hide a tablet, and it's stolen by the Butterfly Ninja, and chase her down. And then, of course, she ends up being confronted by Ri Yagusa, who has this white ninja outfit. Which, that's kind of the outfit right there. And then, of course, we're also introduced to another ninja a little bit later. Yeah. And, of course, Buffy Ninja Bowser. And later on, there's a joke in the episode like, oh, why is some of the girls after me for? And they also introduced to Spear Ninja Tapu, basically mentioned here. And I have to stop because supper is ready. So part 2 after dinner.